Welcome back, guys. On my last two videos we talked about bringing the family to UK, and we talked of the challenges which you are likely to face when you bring your family to UK. So today we are going to be looking at some of the solutions that you can employ to solve the problems that we talked about in the last video. The major problem that we talked about was that the salary is not enough, especially if you are working in the NHS, where we said you take home roughly £1,600 to £1,700 at the end of the month. Even when you're working in a care home, you also take home around £2,000 per month. So today I'm going to be showing you pay slips and how you can work to double your salary if you're working in the NHS. And I've already done a video on how you can make up to £3,000 per month if you are working in a care home. Another challenge which we talked about was the issue of childcare, especially if you are a single mother like me. So today I'm going to be taking you through some of the measures that you can implement which can assist you with childcare here in the UK. We are also going to be talking about solutions to challenges like disciplining of children in UK. So let's get into it.
Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid, what was happening? What was happening?
So guys, on my last video we talked about how the salary is not adequate, especially if you are working in the NHS. We said that you take home roughly around £1,700 to £1,800 per month, and we stated that because of all the bills that you have to pay, the salary is not enough to cater for all your family needs and your requirements. We said you might find yourself actually going to the extent of borrowing money from your colleagues. However, there is a solution to that problem. If you want to make adequate money to cater for your family, you really have to work very smart. I have a friend who works in the NHS, and she takes home £3,300 to £4,000 every month because she works smart. So if you look at NHS, you are employed 37, or rather your contract is 37.5 hours per week, meaning that you work 3 days per week. Even if you work in a care home, I would advocate that you choose a contract where you're going to be working at least 39 hours or 36 hours where possible for you to work 3 days a week. So in NHS, the pay rate is not the same for someone who works day shift and for someone who works night shift, and it's also not the same for someone who works weekends. So if you are aware of how these rates go about and you capitalize on them, you will be able to take home between £3,000 and £4,000 every month, and that money is enough to cater for your family needs without you having the need to borrow money from other people. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the pay slips from my friend who works in the NHS, and she's a hustler and she makes a lot of money every month. And if you employ the strategies that she uses, you also live comfortable as you will get paid good amount of money. So if you take up a job which you work 37 hours per week or 36 hours a week, it will leave you with an additional 4 days each week for you to do what you want with those 4 days. So if you're working in the NHS, you've got 3 options that you can take for you to make extra money. It's either you do bank shift, you do overtime, or you do agency work. And according to my friend, doing bank shift and agency work is what works the most. So I'll show you 2 of her bank payslips as well as the agency work payslip, so that you see that the amount that you make if you take those shifts is quite a substantial amount of money. So you can apply to do bank shift within your hospital, and for you to be able to do bank shift you have to do certain competences. For example, if you do drug competence, cannulation competence, and once you are certified competent in those areas, you are able to go and do your bank shift. And on the other hand, when you're doing agency work, you are taking it as an additional job. Initially it used to be 20 hours before COVID, but it's changed because of COVID. Now you can take more than 20 hours a week from agency. What is required is for you to have at least a minimum of 6 months experience in a care home or in a hospital, and they would need references, at least 2 references from your employer. And then you would also need to complete the competencies, the drug administration, moving and handling, and all those competencies which are required for you to work in any setup. So the advantage with working in the NHS is that they draft duties 2 months in advance. So when you go to your rosters there, you are able to check which duties are available. For example, as you can see there, it's written available bank duties. So if there are available bank duties, it enables you to plan well in advance that if there are duties on Saturdays and Sundays, for the next 2 months I'm going to be picking those duties on Saturdays and Sundays. Why Saturdays and Sundays? Is because the pay rate for Saturdays and Sundays is high compared to any other pay rate. You can also request your duties well in advance, so it gives you an opportunity to actually plan your life and plan which duties you're going to take, and most of the time they grant you those duties. Another thing, you can choose to work night shift. So for all the overtime that my friend takes, she makes sure that she takes night shift because night shift also pays more compared to day shift. So now I'm going to be sharing with you her pay slips when she works bank shift on Saturdays and Sundays, and when she does agency work on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you choose to take bank shift on a Saturday and Sunday night duty, you get paid £388.10. That is just one weekend. So if we calculate that by 4 weekends, you actually get £1,552. And if you add that amount to your basic pay of 1,800, you actually get £3,352 take home. Should you choose to take agency work instead and you work your 2 weekends, you will get paid £480.7, and this amount is already taxed, by the way. So if you choose to work agency work for the next 4 weekends, you get £480 3.7 times 4 weekends, giving you a total of a whooping £3,722. And should you wish to take one more extra shift, you can take one extra shift and you can get £4,000 per month. So you see, guys, if you work smart, you will double your salary every month. So now let's talk about childcare. Relating to me, I have a 15-year-old son called Troy and a 7-year-old daughter called Minnie. They have since grown a little bit, but when they initially came here, Troy was just 12 years old and Minnie was 5 years old. So I felt as if I was going to have some challenges with childcare. So I sought help from Melinda Moolman, who was the recruiter for MMA healthcare recruitment, and as usual, she was very resourceful. She gave me advice on how I can apply for a visitor's visa and how I can actually have it approved. And it was approved, and my mother came and joined me in UK, or she rather came with my kids. So for the first year, my kids were being taken care of by my mother. So this is a cheaper childcare option, inviting your dependent over to UK. Another alternative for childcare that you can look at or that you can use is hiring an au pair. An au pair is someone who will come and live with the family and you treat them as a family member, but they usually get pocket money of at least £90 per week. There are, however, some certain requirements that you need to meet. They need to have a letter of invitation from you, and they also need to learn about British culture from the host family, whilst they share their own culture with you. You need to provide them with their own private room, and when they're having their meals, they eat their main meals with the host family free of charge. They can help you with at least 30 hours a week of childcare, including a couple of evenings of baby sitting. So this is an easier childcare option that you can use. So guys, having my mother over was the best decision ever, because she was of great help through and through. Whenever I was coming from work, she would make sure that I'll find the kids bathed and ready to go to school. I didn't have to hustle starting to bath them, feed them and all. They were well fed and ready to go to school. So it is really a great option to bring a dependent over. And it's just that these days there is COVID, but they still do grant you visas to come over if you are able to give a valid reason why you need the visitor's visa. The best part of having my mother over was that I always found traditional food ready for me to eat, and you know that your mothers always cook the best food, and I don't think I've had such great food ever since she left. And she always made it a point that the house was always spotless and clean. Now my advice to you guys is that do not rush to bring your family to UK before you get yourself established. Rather spend a couple of months saving money, so that when you bring your family over, you bring them to a conducive environment. It took me 10 months to bring my children over because I wanted to be established first. I wanted to buy a car because the UK weather can be terrible, especially for people coming from Africa, and for you to be walking with your kids in the cold weather when they are not used to it is not fair on them. So that's why I had to delay, so that everything just falls into place when they come this side. So guys, this is just part one of solving the problems that associated with coming to UK, and I haven't touched on disciplining of children. It's a topic which is long on its own, so to avoid the video being long, I just had to cut it short. But we will tackle all these issues when I do my next video. And the family is growing. In my next video, we would have reached 1,000 subscribers in just 2 months. And to thank you all for the love and support that you have shown me, I'll be giving away a prize to someone. I will be paying for CPT for 1 or 2 people, or reimbursing them for their CPT, or rather giving them money for CPT in my next video. So I'll announce the people in my next video. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Kindly like, subscribe and share. I will see you in my next video.